Growing up, I learned very quickly that there are a few topics you simply do not talk about. For example, you don't talk about political views, you don't talk about religion, and you don't talk about sexual orientation for the fact that you don't want to start conflict with people. Now, understanding that, I never thought at the age of 31 that the tipping culture or delivery drivers should be added to that category, but here we are today, sensitizing everything we have to say because the clients have an answer, the gig workers have an answer, but who doesn't have an answer is always the company. Now, in today's video, I'm not looking to battle it out. I am looking to rectify, to clarify certain topics when it comes to should us gig workers, myself included, because I do work for Uber Eats, DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, and Instacart, should us gig workers turn around and should we side or defend the customers, or should we side and defend the companies that apparently pay our paychecks? Well, I'm going to say this to start off. First of all, do I believe that the customer is always right? No, I am a customer myself, and it's easy enough for me to say that 100% I am not always right. And if I'm a customer and I'm not always right, of course I'm going to think to myself that no, the customers are not always right. But when it comes to this conversation, whose side am I on? 100% the customers. Now let me elaborate. I know that I'm going to piss off some gig workers when it comes to the fact of saying that. Now, to my lovely gig workers, I know that there is a small minority of individuals who enjoy taking away our tips. I'm not denying that. And to our customers that did not know, there is a group of customers, not all in one, but you get to where I'm getting at. There's a fraction of customers that will go in and, let's say, put a $10 tip on there. And then they get their food, everything went smooth sailing, and you know what they say? They say, screw you, I never wanted to pay you to begin with, and they revoke the tip. And I understand that tipping is optional. But what many do not understand, and I'll get to the fact that I'm for the clients in a moment, but what many clients do not understand is that is how we make our money. And we get seen that tip amount in advance majority of the time. So when you're taking it away or when it gets dangled like a carrot, it's a slap in the face to us delivery drivers. Now, the reason why, though, I side with the customers is because the customers have no control over the fact that the companies do not pay us enough. That is not the customer's fault. I understand that they say tipping is optional, go to your employers and demand better wages. Here's the thing, we use an application. You click a button to order your food, right? We click a button to start our shift. There is no going to anybody. There is no customer service that we go to and complain. We can call customer service, but you do not want to see how that goes around. If you do, I have videos on that. But I can't go against a customer when it's not their fault we don't get paid. The sad reality is for these delivery services, a tip has to be involved, otherwise we make a fraction of the income you probably think that we do. But additionally on top of that, it's our gas being used, it's our delivery bags being used. Now don't get me wrong, there are a pile of gig workers out there, especially the one that, yes, I saw the viral video of this guy, DoorDash driver, going to this customer's house. He knew how much he was going to be making in advance. He knew it. And what does he do? He gets to the customer's house. He hands her her pizza. She caught this on a doorbell camera. And he turns around and he goes around and he's like, nice house for a $5 tip. And he was lucky with her reply. She turned around sarcastically saying, thank you, because she hinted towards what he was saying. And then he turned around and point blank said, you to her. I mean, are you stupid or what? You're trying to make us delivery drivers look horrible, although I know there's a lot of drivers that do that out there too. To the customers that have to go through that bull crap, I apologize, and I don't even have to, because you truly don't deserve that. There is so many good customers out there. There truly, truly is. But there's also so many good drivers out there. And then it comes back down to the common denominator of who's the issue. It's the companies. I don't care if it's DoorDash, Uber Eats, GrubHub, or Skip the Dishes. Skip the Dishes is the only one that pays a decent amount of $8 per delivery, but you have to have an 80% satisfaction rate. Not satisfaction rate, excuse me, acceptance rate, which means we gotta accept the garbage orders of sometimes like $3-4 orders to get there, but they're the only ones with an incentive. All the rest are $2-3 per order. And that's why drivers have to dish it out to get the money. But I understand that tipping is optional. But regardless, I'm still always going to be on the customer side of things, because if I sit here and I say to myself, I get it. If you're not happy with the job, go get something else. It's not that drivers aren't happy with the jobs. It's just that there's constantly a cat and mouse chase between clients and drivers, when in the reality, is it the clients and the drivers that are the problem, or is it these asshole companies that sit on their making millions and billions and laughing at us all for constantly arguing it out about who should pay who? I mean, it's very clear to me who's the issue. But when it comes to these conversations, a lot of people don't talk about it without yelling or screaming at one another. And I get it. I truly get it. And I'm not making this video here today to try to settle the horses. I'm making this video to just try to simply explain why some drivers are the way they are and why some clients are the way that they are. And hopefully there could be a little bit of common grounds, but if there's not, maybe there's at least a little bit more understanding from this video being put out. And for the customers that, I would say customers because I'm not going to discriminate versus with generations or whatnot, but for the customers that decide to go in the comments and blame drivers that don't have an education, that don't have a degree, that have nothing going on for them, truly understand that that might not be the case scenario. Going in and bashing people for the lack of education or what may be when you don't know their background is just as bad as the drivers complaining about how much money you're giving them. It's a two-way streak. Because I know a lot of drivers that have university degrees and are doing delivery orders because there's a have to involved for some of these guys. For some of these guys, it's just due to scheduling. For some of them, it's their single parents and they need to make ends meet and they need to make ends work. So let's not go around turning around and blaming educational factors, because I can guarantee you there's going to be some comments below that are going to list people with degrees that they have been involved in that would blow your mind if you knew that's what they had in their background. So I've said my piece when it comes to this subject. For myself, I do side with the customers instead of the companies, but the reason is these companies do not pay us jack shit.